In this video, I'm going to talk about and explore the looming and intimidating location simply known as Fortress Inquisitorius, and explain everything about this training facility that was used primarily for the Inquisitors. And as you know from the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, we got to see our very first look at the live-action version of Fortress Inquisitorius, and my goodness, did it look absolutely glorious. Now, the fortress was known as a top-secret training facility for the Inquisitors that was built by Darth Vader and the Empire. The Inquisitors were the Dark Lord's personal enforcers and were responsible for hunting down and destroying any remaining Jedi and threats to the Imperials. The Fortress Inquisitorius is located on the planet Nur, and it is heavily guarded by the Imperial Army. And in the game Jedi Fallen Order, this is also where Jedi Cal Kestis battled Darth Vader, perhaps one of the most iconic battles of that game. And not only this, but an Inquisitor by the name of Trilla Sundari was actually killed by Darth Vader himself at Fortress Inquisitorius. So as you can see, the fortress already has a massive backstory behind it. The fortress also consisted of a detention level, a training area known as the Imperial Dojo, and an interrogation chamber. The Imperial Dojo was used for training the Inquisitors in hand-to-hand combat and lightsaber skills, and Purge Troopers also took part in the extensive training here as well with their various weapons. The training was thought to be of a very dark nature, obviously, using fear-based tactics that were almost considered abusive in nature. It is also believed that the Inquisitors learned how to use the Force and build their own lightsabers right at the fortress. The detention level within the fortress was where prisoners, like highly sought-after Jedi, were usually kept, but it is also where the Inquisitors would interrogate and torture these poor prisoners. Now, the interrogation chamber was specifically designed for this, however, and had many tools that could be used to get information out of prisoners, and this very room was designed by Palpatine himself. So, being captured as a Jedi at the fortress was like a death sentence. In most cases, there was usually no escape. And in Jedi Fallen Order, we learn from BD1 scan of the computer system that many captured victims were so broken and beaten down that they eventually turned to the dark side. The Inquisitors were also responsible for acquiring new technologies for the Empire. They would often go out and find new and improved ways to track down enemies of the Empire or ways to improve the Empire's defenses. And if they found something that they thought could help the Empire, they would report it back to Darth Vader directly. This meant that the very existence of the Fortress Inquisitorius was a massive threat to the rebel forces, which in turn also made it a huge target for those that discovered it. However, during most of its existence, it was safeguarded as a well-kept secret of the Empire, and most who did discover it would either be captured or killed on sight. And as seen in Star Wars Rebels, the Inquisitors' reach went far beyond their own fortress. The Grand Inquisitor helped run a program known as Project Harvester. This was a secret Imperial project that was designed to find Force sensitives and then kidnap them for training in the Inquisitorius program. The Empire would establish this program within their own Imperial academies, making the young cadets there very vulnerable to the dangers of the Inquisitors. So even though Fortress Inquisitorius might not have been seen by many, its impact on the galaxy could be felt throughout. Darth Vader would also play a pivotal role in shaping the history of the fortress, and he would visit the fortress quite often to check on the progress of his Inquisitors and the training program. The brutal dark training usually gave way to some of the most talented Inquisitors, many of which have been featured in Star Wars Rebels and Jedi Fallen Order, as well as the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And what's really interesting is that Fortress Inquisitorius went through many iterations before its final design and first appearance in Jedi Fallen Order. The first design was that it was an asteroid base that was hidden in a gas giant or nebula. The second design was that it was a hyperspace-capable battle station, and the third design was that it was simply an Imperial Academy of some kind. It wasn't until later that they decided to make it an actual fortress, with the design being inspired by real-life Gothic cathedrals. And in Legends, it was also known as Citadel Inquisitorius instead of Fortress Inquisitorius. And I hope you enjoyed this video about Fortress Inquisitorius, and like you, I cannot wait to see its live action debut in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on May 25th, which is right around the corner. So hit that like button if you are excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And if you're new here to the Star Wars HQ, don't forget to subscribe as well. I'll be doing plenty of coverage on the Obi-Wan Kenobi series as we continue to near its release date. And I will see you next time in the next video, and may the Force be with you always.